Last night I couldn't tell you who the name of the suspect was. This morning we do have the name of the suspect, and his name is going to be, his last name is, depending on how you want to spell it, is either, or pronounce it, it's either Tilghman or Tilghman. It's spelled Tilghman. His first name is Alexander, middle initial is C. He is a white male, 28 years of age. Again, he was shot and killed at the scene. He was shot by two individuals last night. All the information I had was only one individual, one citizen had shot, but evidently there was two individuals that got firearms and shot the suspect. They were not carrying their firearms on them. The firearms were in the trunk of their vehicles. When they saw this incident breaking out, they were able to go to their vehicles and gather their firearms, and then they were able to shoot the suspect and put it into a very dangerous situation. Good news we have is that the three individuals that were shot, it looks like they're all in good condition, so that's a positive note. And then also the individual that got a broken arm, it looks like he's doing well also. You guys have any other questions?
Do you consider the two men who shot the suspect to be heroes?
I consider them as two people that stopped an incident that was very tragic. I mean, you know, you can say they're heroes, and which is a very good thing to say. But I think they stopped an incident that was very, very bad, and we had no idea what he was going to do after he left the Louis restaurant. So, you know, heroes is a great terminology. I just say there are two people that stopped a very tragic situation from going any further.
Can you clarify the three injuries on the people that were shot? The nature of it.
No, I mean, I know that there was people got shot in the arm, one in the stomach area, the abdomen area, and then in the wrist area. So,
Were either of the two civilian shooters licensed to have a concealed carry? And do you know if they knew each other, or they just randomly each got a weapon?
they were not together. They arrived separately, so they were not. They did not know each other. As far as being carry conceal, in this matter, it really does, or in this incident, it really doesn't matter since they were not carrying at the time. They went back to their vehicle to obtain their firearms.
Have you reported suspicions about or concerns about the suspect before?
No, we have nothing in our computer system that shows that we had any recent contact. The last contact we had with him was 2003.
Have you talked to his family?
I believe there were some detectives that spoke with his mother last night, but those reports I have not seen.
Does it appear that the suspect was targeting anybody or that this was random?
From when you look at this investigation, or if you look from all the evidence that we have at this point, it doesn't look like he knew anybody at the restaurant. He didn't work at the restaurant, and he actually was shooting from the outside of the door into the restaurant. So it looks like, to me, it'd be a random event. This is an ongoing investigation that could change.
So
but
it started outside?
He was at the front door. So.
Captain, did they have the detective searched his home, and what other kind of background information do you have?
They're continuing to do a lot of searching and to find out his history, exactly what all, where he works, and maybe what he was doing that day. But yes, they did go to his. I believe he might have an apartment, and they searched it. So what they found at this point, I do not know.
How bad could this have been if he had gone inside?
Oh God, it could really been bad. I mean, it's a confined area, and nobody can really escape. And if you look to the west, when you go out the back door, you have Lake Hefner. So they're not going to be able to get away. I think there's a lot of rocks back there, big boulders and stuff, so it makes it hard to run away. So it could have been really tragic. Again, we're very blessed that only 3 people, were just shot and didn't lose their lives. So.
Does the suspect have a history of mental illness that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, an act like this, you would have to assume that he probably had a little bit of a mental illness.
Just for clarification purposes, he was outside of the restaurant shooting into the restaurant or shooting at the doorway?
No, he was in, my understanding, he was in the doorway and he was shooting into the restaurant.
Okay, so the victims that were hit were inside of
They were inside.
But he didn't go inside.
He did not go inside.
Do you know if he had a security guard license? Do you ever wear that? I'm being told he was apparently a licensed security guard.
I have received information. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but we have received that type of information.
Do you know if he was licensed for his firearm?
And that's the information that we'll be looking into. But that is information that we have received. Yes, sir?
Do you know how many shots were fired by the suspect and
Unknown at this time.
how quickly the two Samaritans interacted?
We haven't, that timeline has not been given out yet.
Have you guys reviewed his YouTube channel and his Facebook page, or have you seen some posts out there talking about demons and things? Have you guys been able to review that, or have you guys looked at it?
You know, we have our homicide detectives and also our criminal intelligence investigators that are looking into this. So that is some of the research and some of the things that they'll be looking into to find out exactly, see if we can find something what led up to this incident.
Right now, you don't know a motive.
We have no idea. Right now, it appears to be a random event.
What was his exact weapon?
It was a handgun. I don't know what kind, what brand, or anything like that. We just know it was a handgun. And the two citizens that fired upon him used handguns.
How many times did they fire?
Do not know. That's another thing that you'll have to find out. You're going to find out when people have personal weapons. You're going to have to ask them how many rounds do they load their magazine with, and you know how many times they think they shot. And that was an outdoor scene, so now you're going to have to look around outside to count how many shell casings were out there. So it takes quite a while. I mean, it's very painstaking.
Did you find any more ammunition or guns in his car or apartment?
Not that I know of.
And what about, were the two citizens, I mean, they were well within their legal rights to fire upon them?
They were protecting somebody else's life, so yes, they were. They
What
can
are
do
your
that.
thoughts on if the DA will pursue charges or self-defense?
I can't tell you what the DA is going to do. I can tell you historically from interactions being over the homicide unit and officer-involved shootings, these guys were protecting somebody else's life. I would think more than likely they would not be filed on, but you know that is not my decision. That's going to be the Oklahoma County District Attorney David Prater's decision, and whatever he says will go.
He grew up in northwest Oklahoma City, I believe where his father still lives, and neighbors described him as very reclusive. Are you guys searching that home as well?
I don't know. Like I said, you know, an investigation of this magnitude, I mean, he's older. I think he's 28 years of age, and he's living on his own. Did he still go to his father's house? You know, did he have a relationship with him? And that's a lot of things that, a lot of ends that you have to tie up and have to do. That's part of an investigation. That's why we gotta try to explain all the time. Investigations take a lot longer than what we usually see on TV.
Can you give us the status of the crime scene right now, the cleanup process and the property that was left behind?
The property, that's a good question, because there were some purses, sunglasses, wallets, keys. They were left behind. We do have custody of that. And as a matter of fact, if you take this phone number down, 297-1126. That's 297-1126. That goes. There will be a secretary there that's going to be able to guide those people down to our police department, and then we'll be able to hopefully get them reunited with their lost property.
Is there any other, what else are you still doing in the restaurant itself?
You know, I don't know. I haven't heard the update. I don't know if our crime scene unit is still out there. If you could imagine, if he shot multiple times, you're going to have to try to locate where those rounds went and try to, be accountable for each each thing gets struck. So, and then you had people running out, chaotic, people running out and pushing each other down. So it'll be a very difficult scene. It's not going to be pristine at all.
Even though those two men were protecting the people there, it's got to be a traumatizing experience. How are they doing mentally through all this?
We have not been able to contact them today. They interviewed them last night. They're very cooperative. But exactly, it doesn't matter who you are when you take the life of somebody else, even when you're protecting somebody else's life. It's going to be a very traumatic event.
You mentioned that the concealed carry law is not applicable because they had their guns in the trunk. Are there any laws that protect them as being good Samaritans, or is this just...
They'll be protected by those laws, yes.
What laws?
I'm not going to be able to quote that law to you, but I mean, that's something that the district attorney's office will be able to go through. And they could explain that to you.
And where was the victim, actually, the suspected shooter, where was he shot and killed in relation to the restaurant?
I know he was on the east side of the restaurant, and it would just be a guess on my part, so I'm not going to say there's nothing you could quote there, but he was at least 50 to 75 feet away from the front door. It wasn't quite into the parking lot. It was before you got to the parking lot.
So was that the distance he was shooting from the entire time, do you think?
No, my understanding is that he was at the front door.
you elaborate on the 2003 incident?
2003 incident. He was arrested as a juvenile for an assault and battery, a domestic assault and battery. So it's a juvenile case. He was 13 years of age.
But other than that, you haven't had any other run-ins or were you guys made aware of it at all? Did anybody give you a heads up about who this guy is?
We have in our system, we have no records of anybody making any other reports with us.
Truthfully, you think he acted alone? Is there anybody else that you could possibly relate to with this?
You're trying to look into the future there. I mean, could there be? Yeah. Or could there not be? Yeah. I mean, it's too hard. We do not know who he ran with and if he conspired with anybody or anything like that. So we don't. And as far as I know, we haven't received any of that kind of information.
Can you elaborate on the headgear he was supposedly wearing, the headphones?
Yes, he was wearing, if you go to a shooting range, you see the earmuffs that shooters wear. He had those kind of earmuffs on.
So it appears that he came there prepared knowing what he was going to do.
Yes, you look at that and it looked like he had shooting glasses in that, so it looks like his mind was made up that it's something he was going to discharge his firearm once he got there. Anything else? Again, we thank you guys so much for being here and getting this information out to the public.
What about his strange videos asking for help and talking about how Satan is in his TV and handing out flyers back in January?
That's part of the follow-up investigation to look into it. Because somebody might have a mental illness doesn't mean they go to jail. I mean, we know that. That's one thing that we train on that a lot with the police department. Was he endangering somebody else's life? Was he endangering his own life? You have to look into those situations before you can put somebody into a facility. Did he voluntarily try to put himself into a facility, or was he rejected? I don't know, but that's all that kind of information there. That's something that you'll really have to look at too during an investigation and a follow-up.